When part of God, what was our purpose? Right, there's two things in the world. I said, I touched this on my talk. There's matter, which is Maya. That's this table, this pen. Yeah, that's including us as well. We're matter. Without force, matter can't move. Yeah. Now the force in the world that's energizing every single thing in the world is Brahmeshwar, it's God. When God goes into battle, when He destroys the world, yeah, the matter goes into one element. Now this is all in Guru Nanak's Janamsakhi, in the Pratham Janamsakhi. Yeah, all the Sikh is in there. Now when the world goes into battle, it goes into one element, which might be water. But because we've been separated from God from time immemorial, that question, there's a question in here which we can't answer, because no one's ever answered that question, because no one's got the sight to see that far back into time. Because God's so immense and dense, you can't go that far to say, when did it all start? Like chicken and egg, you can't do that. But what we can say, definitely what the Granth Sahib and spirituality, the Granth Sahib says, matter exists and force exists. Now those two things, when the world goes into battle, we then go, because we're still in the Jurassic Zone, we then go into that element. And then we sprout back out when God wants to create the world. But until we're freed, we can't merge back into God. And then if we're part of the super force, which Guru Sahib sends down, or the saints like Baba Deep saying, they're sent down for a purpose. Because they're mucked. And they're sitting in such time. But that's not a normal God. Going back to this, because I don't want to divert from what's been said. God's purpose and our purpose. Why do you do this? Why is God up here? Creatures, pens, mountains. Yeah? There's a Sakhi in the Janamsakhi which comes along. Guru Nanak Bhai Mradana walking up a mountain. And Bhai Mradana says, how big is rocks on the mountain? He's in this part of Jurassic Zone. And in the Shab, the Giri board, Giri Patanga, it comes in there as well. Now the thing is, the rocks are actually a life form. And this blew me away because someone asked me the question a few weeks before and I didn't have the answer. But when I read the Sakhi and the Granth, it was there, the answer. What Maharaj says to Bhai Mradana, he says that the rocks, it's actually part of Jurassic Zone and they're there for hundreds of thousands of years. And it's people who jump part. So they're there for hundreds of thousands of years until they're getting worn away on the mountainside. Now the thing is, a part of this is God is Nirgun and Sargun. God is in the part of creation. He sits aloof. Jap Sahib creates God, describes God as being aloof. And so does Mool Mantra as well. If he's got that book, he created everything. But Ekwan God, if he's Sabada Prakasha, he created everything. If you're talking about the pen, is God in that pen? Jarvastu, that pen can't do anything without the energy of God. It's Jarvastu, it's unconscious. Anything that's got God's energy is conscious, it can think and it can do things. So Jarvastu can only move with Brahmeshwar's mind, with Brahmeshwar's force. Yeah? This might sound confusing because I'm putting some concepts there, but we can't fully explain them within the time we've got. But there is two concepts, which is God is aloof, and His Shakti, which is called Ishwar, creates the world. And that's when Maya comes into play. He creates the world, and that Shakti is called Ishwar. That's the Nirgun Swarup of God, which is its non-qualities. It's got no. I'll try explaining that a bit more. But if you're there in the Diwan when Jap Sahib is going on, just look at the screen, and it actually reduces everything in the world down to nothing, and says nothing exists because it's all God. Nothing actually exists. That's the whole of Jap Sahib does that. Yeah. So that's the Nirgun form. The Sargun form is what we see, what we touch, and we're saying, oh, we've got more in the world, we've got attachment. This is Sukra saying, this exists, we can touch it, we can feel it. That exists as well. For our Bhakti and our Sikh, we have to do Sargun Upasana first. We have to believe Guru Sahib is teaching the day. We have to believe that Guru Sahib is going to do this. We have to believe as a human being, because it's a relationship and we have to develop that. We can only go to Nirguna Upasana afterwards when we've got an understanding that actually he sits aloof, he's not part of this creation game. Now that might sound completely confusing, and I hope it has confused you to an extent. Yeah? Because the answers, we can't give them to an extent in this small time that we're sitting here. The afternoons are there for that. The Bible is saying we'll be there, another saying will be there. What was the last one? But there's one point I need to make in terms of this to explain to you how God exists. When we go to sleep at night, we go to sleep and we say we're going to wake up at, let's say, 5 o'clock. Okay? I'll do that. So we say we're going to wake up at 5 o'clock. We wake up 10 minutes before the alarm's gone off. We woke you up. We woke you up. Then you might wake up one day and say, I slept and I can't remember anything, I slept so well. So who knows that you slept that well? Isn't that God in you? So there's something there that's still awake, that never went to sleep. What's that? That's God within you. Yeah? So there's that. That's the realisation that actually God does exist. He is there, and He's always on. He's never switched off. And He's within you, that's the ultimate. He never turns on. So I need to make that point, because that makes it more profound. But the question, why has Maharaj created culture? What is its purpose? Yeah? I don't know what God made me. I don't know what God did. Yeah? That's part of His play. That's the only thing we can give as an answer. God's created 4 ages. That's what He wants to do. That's His business. All we've got to do is try meeting God. That's part of His play. I can't question God for what He's doing.